To the left, my right-hand man. I got B-Boy Rich Nice in the building. Rich Nice, politic your business, homie. If you got anything going on, any projects coming up. We have just recently came from a breaking event, which you host.
Yeah.
Salute to you, homie.
Yeah,
but
man.
Go ahead. If you got anything going on, go ahead and spit that mic.
What's up? Rich Nice, True Aggression's crew, straight out of Jersey, Break Infinite. I have some things coming up this year, but y'all will hear about it, so I'm not too stressed about it. We got some stuff in the summer. We got the Jersey Fresh Jam. Want to shout out Ricky on that.
In Trenton, New Jersey.
In Trenton, New Jersey. So that's coming up. And then the MBK anniversary is at the end of September. So I just got booked for that. That's going to be interesting.
Nice.
And then I'm going to be doing things here and there in the summer. But other than that, it's good to be here. Fresh Breakdown 2, I think, was a success. I've heard some reviews already that it was a good time. I was working, so I have a different perspective about the jam. So I'm just coming down off of that. Shout out to Lisa, Big Girl Twice. You know, she did her thing. It's really her rodeo, and I'm just a humble servant. But, yeah, it was good to work. It was good to MC again. And, you know, we moving.
As always,
Sir.
salute to Break Infinite. For those of you guys that have not followed Break Infinite on Instagram yet, please do so. You know, we trying to get our numbers up. We trying to pop, you know, or just reach out to us DM, and maybe we can help you out with your up-and-coming event. So, Rich, I got a particular question I want to ask you, homie, but I also want to have some fun.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. As you know, we don't always take shit so seriously. Sometimes you be tapping into a lot of these podcasts and the shit's, you know, motherfuckers be talking about the moons and the stars and how that correlates to fucking breaking. No. But we don't need to go there. We can always have a little fun, you know, but we could also have a serious conversation at the same time. Right. Now, let me put a little context to this particular question before I even ask you it. Now, there are breakers, and this kind of has something to do with what we were talking about before we even started this podcast. There are some breakers, the majority of them in the 17 to 35 age group, okay? You know, they get so emotional in breaking that to an extent, they want to see their opponent with the hands. Sometimes these breakers, and I noticed they're in the 17 to 35 age range.
It's a big range.
That shit could go so left that they feel the need to answer by throwing these hands. You feel me? Now, I get it, okay? Breaking is an extension of hip-hop. And, you know, hip-hop, which is an extension of urban street culture, tends to have, like, an emphasis on violence or aggression. You know what I mean? So, for example, let's do like battle rap, for example. You know what I mean? When you're talking about battle rap, some of these battle rappers, they'll give you 16 fucking bars, and they'll talk about your baby moms. They'll talk about your dead homies. They'll pull out fucking paperwork on how you snitch, you work for them people. You know what I mean? And it's all to insinuate a way to get you to throw these fucking hands.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But even in a battle rap, there are certain lines you don't cross.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Especially in their culture. You know, they know, hey, listen, these are just bars. You know what I mean? It don't make sense for us to physically do shit. Although sometimes they have been times where people have crossed the line and, you know, started throwing hands over certain things that people say. Now, if you ask me, it's not only immature to want to throw hands with someone after losing a breaking battle, but there's something really gay about getting in your feelings over a dance competition. Gay, Rich. There's something really
G.
gay.
Yeah, you said
Hold
that
on.
shit with the capital G. It was
Well, what
crazy.
was that? There's something really feminine about getting in your feelings to the point where you want to throw these fucking hands with somebody after a dance competition. Now, hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
It's crazy.
Do you think, in your opinion, do you think it's gay for a man to get angry with another man over a dancing competition? Keep it real.
I'm not gonna use the word gay to describe that. That's crazy.
Gay.
Gay. We've come a long way, bro. You can't just. That's a very. I know. All right, so yeah.
This is alpha male radio,
right?
Man. Come on.
Alpha male radio is crazy. I think it's whack. All right. Anyway, yeah. If you want to fight to go back to the battle rap, right? Yo, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna shoot you. Your mother this and blah 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 blah. If you break under that pressure, you lost. You know what I mean? Break as in like you let it get to you to that point where like I can't even rap back at you. I need to jump to something else to like come back at you, right? The same goes for breaking, right? So if you smoking me so much, no matter what it is, you cut off my round. Like usually it's things like that. Like you cut off my round. You said something about my partner. You talking on the side and stuff like that. It's not moves. We going move for move. Breaking is about move for move, right? So if you at the point where like I can't even keep up with your moves, or I find quote unquote your moves or maybe your tongue is so disrespectful that I gotta take it to like I need to harm you in another type of way. You take it into another realm, like, yo, let's box. Also, sidebar, a lot of these breakers is not about that. We've come a long way breaking from that. Like, you could call it a good thing or a bad thing. Breaking isn't as street as it used to be. For most people, 90% of the people, right? There is still them few that's about that. But yeah, the fact that you like, nah, we need to scrap because I'm winning or losing, probably losing. But even some cats, they be winning. And I've seen it as a judge or whatever at a jam where they was winning, but all of a sudden they got in their feels and like now you losing. To me, you losing now because it's like you got in your feels so much. Like we need to box because like your moves was so crazy, or like you stepped on my toe, or like you said I was a biter. Like all that shit don't matter. Yo, also to use an example, I always use the top guys as an example, right? And I know we don't try to name drop, but call Victor a biter and see you don't get smoked the next round. You know what I mean? Like he not trying. You know what I mean? Like he not. And I'm sorry. Like
well,
let
me say this. Let me jump in real quick,
continue,
Rich. I appreciate your perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about this before we got on the podcast. Now, again, maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm old.
You are.
But this Gen Zest is already sus, right? We already talked about it. We already talked about it with their painting their nails.
I need a drink.
Painting their nails, their goddamn nose piercings, their broccoli haircuts, the fucking Crocs.
Now you're sounding all better.
You got hold on. You got niggas out here, little niggas out here airing out the steel, right? Gung, 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 gung. They're airing out the steel. Hear me out. With Gucci slides on.
I like
And
Gucci
then they try
slides.
running from the police. With the Gucci slides on, they lose a Gucci slide, and they get tackled anyway.
Lose a Gucci
So
slide.
this hold on, but
Yeah,
seriously,
I'm
this
listening, I got you.
aggressive, zesty behavior among the 17 to 35 demo in hip hop is real.
That's a big demo.
So what I'm saying is, you know, I'm asking,
Yeah.
is throwing hands in breaking gay? Is it feminine?
Nah, I don't.
Is
I don't
there
think it's-
estrogen involved there? You're laughing.
No, I'm laughing because you're using a lot of terms like they're not exactly correlated. What I will say though, right? Breaking is predominantly male-dominated space, right? We're in a lot of spaces where it's a lot of males in their fields because you have to feel to dance in the first place, right? So we is an emotional dance, right? We getting down, blah, blah, blah. We dancing a lot of hip hop music that's very aggressive already. We with our boys was going to amp up the aggression. We're in a competition, which is going to amp up the aggression, right? So all the boxes are checked off for it to be that type of environment, for you to be like, fuck you, yeah, let's roll, beat the chest type shit. You feel me? So it's like all that shit starts to make sense that the next level, especially for men, right, is fisticuffs. It's like it needs to go down. You know what I mean? right. But to me, also, your moves should be so dope that it don't need to go to that. To me, right? Your moves need to be so dope. It's like, yo, nobody would never smoke me enough. The same way is like if I get into an argument with somebody, I look at it like if you want to bring it back to another level. It's like, I'm talking, fuck you, Ricky. And you're like, fuck you, Rich. Fuck you, and you going back and forth. You be like, yo, mama, oh, now I want to fight. I lost. To me, I lost that verbal battle now because I needed to take it to another type of battle. Okay. So whatever battle, you already lost that dancing battle if you needed to take it to this other physical type of battle.
Okay.
So,
all right.
yeah.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate that, homie. Yeah.